Welcome back to the lounge. I hope your day is going well so far. Now let's get back into the game. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a stranger one because the audio for the game messed up a little bit. I don't know exactly what wrong. I'm fairly new to this whole YouTube thing. So I'm recording this after having done the gameplay recording. So here I was just going through all of the different Pokemon, showing what they had learned, what their new levels are at. And I was saying, probably going to have to rely on Sanji for most of the forest, and maybe Ziggy. The other two don't really have any power moves, and so going to rely on the other two. And hope to catch something cool here in the forest. So I picked up the doll. Now we're heading up here to get some of the other items and seeing. Here we go. What did we encounter? It was a Staryu. Now I think I'm looking forward to actually using this Staryu, because I've used Starmies before. They have pretty good moves. Surf being the only HM aside from maybe Strength that's really good and worth using outside of its utility use in the overworld. Yeah, I won't get that for a while, but still, Starmie is really good. Its special attack is really high. It also learns moves like Swift, Recover, good stuff. Nice. So yeah, the catch rate for this run is boosted just slightly. I bumped it up to buffed, because I knew there would be the chance of encountering Pokemon that are higher evolved, and I'm pretty sure those ones are a little bit more difficult to catch, just in general. Yeah, I nicknamed my Staryu Patrick, like Patrick Star. Probably not going to be the last time I nickname a Pokemon after a cartoon character, because I like cartoons. But anyway, with the Pokemon that are higher evolved forms, I think they're more difficult to catch, so I buffed it up just slightly in case I encountered those in the early routes, because I think it's more interesting to catch Pokemon than to not have them. And so yeah, that's why I increased that a little bit. Now we're just still going through Viridian Forest here. I think I know what caused the audio issue in this recording, so I won't have to deal with that in future. Or if I do, I'll just do recordings like this. I'd prefer not to, but this is actually, to be completely honest, not the first time I've done a recording for this. Like, I created a randomized Nuzlocke file, recorded the first episode of about 30 minutes in length, and then went to record the second episode, and the audio was messed up. So this is actually my second or third attempt doing this, and I considered doing this same thing last time, where I just record like afterwards to make up for it. But I don't think that's particularly interesting, and like right now I'm in my first battle in the Viridian Forest, and I'm barely paying attention to it. But whatever. So yeah, in future, I know I'll be able to, keep that from becoming an issue in the future. But what I'm considering also for future recordings is just turning off the game audio completely, and I'll play like whatever royalty-free music I can find in the background. Yeah, Sanji was I was pretty lucky to to get him. But anyways, so yeah, this was the second time I did a randomized Nuzlocke, because that first one, things messed up just like this time. And I didn't use the same file, so I recreated the Nuzlocke the randomizations and everything. I redid them, because in that original one I actually did catch a Starmie where I caught Jillian, actually, that Route 2 patch of grass. And then I also caught, I think, what was it again? Might have been a Slowbro in Route 1, and then it was a War Turtle in Route 2. And my starter was an Oddish. And things were actually going really well in that run. Interestingly, the trainer before Brock, I got up to about where this recording will cut off. And I beat Brock pretty easily, but the trainer before him had an Altaria, which gave my guys a little bit of trouble. I was ultimately able to beat him because I had 3 Pokemon, at least, that were pretty good and were able to carry me through that battle. Whereas in this run, it's the Sanji show. Yeah, even after, like I said, I'm new to this recording stuff, but even after testing and retesting, still, I'm figuring stuff out. I should hopefully be able to prevent this from being an issue in the future. Now I'm wondering whether I should just comment on what's happening in the game, because I've got it playing next to me here as I'm recording this. I'm wondering if I should just comment on that, or maybe do something else here. Well, I guess I'll figure out. Let's see here. So there's some other videos that I'm I wrote scripts for, and I'm planning to work on for the gaming channel. Most of them are still Pokemon related. I'm gonna do other stuff as well. That's the plan anyway. But I've got ideas for some top 10 Pokemon lists. I've been going through the Pokemon Iceberg, and let's see here. What are some of the other video ideas I've got? I think that's pretty much it so far, but no, let's see, here's my other stuff. So, well, yeah, so I've got favorite movies and that kind of stuff as well. Oh yeah, so I just found that Sacred Ash there, and I was debating just getting rid of that completely, because it is able to revive all your Pokemon. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna keep the video up just so I can comment on the important stuff as it happens. Sanji evolved. I didn't mention that yet. But yeah, I've got a bunch of ideas for stuff I want to do on this channel in particular, mostly relating the Pokemon Iceberg. It also includes anime stuff. I'll go through a couple of the things on here real quick. Let's see. Hold on. Got to bring the game back up. Mostly I'm keeping it up to ensure I record this. I don't know what the right term would be for it, but this new audio, I guess, for it. For the correct length. I don't want to accidentally run over. So yeah, for the Pokemon Iceberg, what I did was gather a bunch of different icebergs, and then just went through them and put together my own version of the iceberg. So there's like some that had more on the first layer, some like there was one that had just some couple of generic things on the first layer that most people would know about, like Pokemon being short for pocket monsters. You know, if you knew or have been into Pokemon for, well, as long as I have, or not even necessarily that long, because I've been playing the game since Generation 1. But yeah, you're probably familiar with that fact already, so that's the kind of stuff that's on the first layer. And then there were other icebergs, like I saw, I think 3 or 4 different ones. Some of them had like stuff that was in layer 2 or 3 on the first iceberg was in layer 1 on some of the others that I found. So, let's see here. One of the items is that Ghastly is a dead cloister. Now, some people believe this because they're directly next to each other in the Pokédex, and they do share a bit of a resemblance. And it's not as close. Like for this, I went and looked at the original Pocket Monsters Green and Red, like the Japanese versions of the games, because the sprites have changed throughout the generations, and they're different game to game. So it's not as close with Ghastly and Cloyster specifically in those original games, but the faces of Gengar and Cloyster are pretty similar. So as for for Ghastly being a dead Cloyster, could be true. I don't necessarily believe this one myself, though. Now the next one was do animals exist in the Pokemon world? So in the anime, I remember there being a worm it was either a Pidgey or a Spearow in the first or second episode. I haven't watched that show in so long, but yeah, there was a worm that Pidgey was eating. And then I think there were also like regular fish shown. Like they didn't look like Remoraid or any of the other fish-type Pokemon. So in the anime, well, at the very least, yes, I'd say regular animals do exist in that world. Now, in the games, it's less clear. So, for example, the Pokédex uses terms such as lizard, turtle, worm, and mouse to refer to Charmander, Squirtle, Caterpie, and Pikachu. So, I don't know if just if that necessarily means that though, like a regular lizard, like a little gecko or whatever, would exist in the Pokemon world, or if when they use the term lizard, they know they're referring to Charmander. That's what species he is, or something like that. I don't know. Not necessarily species, like one of the other classifications, because there's like every animal is classified in multiple different ways. So yeah, looking back over to the game real quick here, it looks like I'm almost out of Viridian Forest, and I didn't want to get Sanji up to level 18 before getting to Brock. So, yeah, I just ran away here from the Lyron. Sucks to not catch that. That would have been kind of cool. Was one of the other starter options. Wouldn't have been the worst to take. But, because I got a 0, I was given the choice myself. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Torchic. It's one of my faves. I don't know if I mentioned that in the previous video, that I always go for the Fire Starter, ever since the first generation, because Pokemon Red was the first game I ever played. So, I think I played the games before ever watching the anime as well. So I saw the cool dragon-looking guy on the front, and I was like, oh, I want him. So I went with Charmander to the start, and then from then on, I just always chose the Fire Starter. Alright. So yeah, against the first trainer, I wanted to keep Ziggy up front. This guy was, from what I recall, wasn't too much of an issue. And then I saved Sanji for going up against Brock. And anyway, so back to, do animals exist in the Pokemon world? I would say in the anime, yes. And then outside of that, probably no. Like, there's never been shown any, in any of the games, canonically, non-Pokemon animals. And then after that was probably my favorite. I guess you would call it like a fan theory or whatever, but it's about Butterfree and Venomoth. So some of you who are watching this probably already know what I'm talking about. So it's believed that the evolutions for them were swapped because Venonat and Butterfree share such a close resemblance in particular that, like their eyes are exactly the same. Their mouth, the antenna that they have, the hands and feet, they're all very similar to such a degree that I'm 100% positive that the evolution of Venonat was supposed to be, Butterfree. Otherwise, like they just, like I don't know what the design process would have been like back in mid 90s when they were made. But if they weren't originally meant to be like the same species, like the same evolutionary line, then almost certainly they took the assets for Venonat or Butterfree, whichever one came first. I think it was Venonat that was, I think Venonat has a lower index number, but I'm not sure if index number means it was designed first or just added into, like programmed into the game first. Either way, they used the same assets for both of those Pokemon. Now, the resemblance between Caterpie, Metapod, and then Venomoth is not as close, but there's still some clear elements. I think the eyes, and Caterpie has the head spike, I guess you would call it. It's like rounded, but whatever. It's got like the little Y thing on Caterpie's forehead. Looks a lot like if it looks similar to the like head decoration thing that Venomoth has, if just one spike grew out through the middle. So I mean, that resemblance is not as close as Butterfree and Venonat, but this is one I 100% believe. I believe that the sprites were swapped. But I could, if it came out like 100% confirmed that they weren't swapped, I could accept that. But it's so close that until it's confirmed, I will continue to believe that. Let's see. Now here's another one that I liked as well. Now we're about to fight Brock though, so I think I'll hold off for a second. Got Sanji up front, healed up. I didn't want to go back to the Pokemon Center. Plus he's now higher level than both of Brock's monsters, so I figured it was fair enough to have him not be at 100%. So Diglett kind of fits with Brock's theme, and in fact, I think I might be wrong about this. It's been a little while since I played those games as well, but I think in Gold and Silver, and then those were the remakes, when you go back to Kanto and fight Brock, I think he might have a Doug Trio, but Ursaring is definitely not something that he has. But Sanji was too much for the Ursaring. So yeah, the Brock fight was a little anticlimactic. And then I made note here just that, let's see, wait for it to come up so you can see for yourselves as well. Yeah, that I got 1,700 yen for winning, rather than the usual amount of 1,400. So I didn't realize this would be the case. I knew for this run in particular, just because, like I said before, I have done recording for a randomized Nuzlocke, and I got past Brock in that one as well, but then the audio messed up. But yeah, when I originally adjusted the settings so that the levels would be higher, I didn't realize that would increase the amount of money they give me after beating them as well. So that's pretty cool. Unexpected, but I'll take it. It'll only add up probably to an extra couple thousand yen over the course of the game. But still, it's better to have it than not. So, I've got something important coming up in the game shortly here, so I'll be brief with this one in this next entry. I'll do a full iceberg video. I haven't gone through all of the different layers and gotten information down for all of them, but the next one is that Pokemon anime sizes are wrong. So I would say yes and no for this one. So if we were going just by the sizes in the Pokédex, which often don't make sense anyway, like they say that Charizard is 5'7", and in the anime it's shown that Ash, even if you say Ash is 4 to 4.5 feet tall, being just a 10-year-old kid, it's still Charizard is still shown to be significantly larger than Ash, more than the little over a foot that it should be. So yeah, based on that, the sizes are probably wrong. But in later games like Pokemon Let's Go and then Pokemon Legends Arceus as well, the sizes of the Pokemon vary. So, for example, remember in the Bill's Lighthouse episode, Ash catches a Krabby, and when it goes to Professor Oak, it's shown next to Gary's Krabby, which is much larger. And then there's also, I believe, a Charizard that's shown to be a lot larger than Ash's Charizard as well. And then there's also the existence of giant Pokemon, like the Dragonite in the Bill's Lighthouse episode. So, with Gigantamaxing and Dynamaxing eventually becoming a thing, this could retroactively be referred to as an example of that phenomena. So, yeah, they're wrong based on the original Pokédex, but then going by the later generations, the anime actually represents Pokemon sizes decently well, I would say. Alright, so yeah, this here is what I was referring to earlier. I think I won't spoil it completely, but something very important happens in this battle. Oh man, just knowing it's coming, I don't like it. Now, this is the only one that happens in this episode at the very least. So, ideally, I won't spoil any ones that happen in the future. Oh man. Yeah. I'm just gonna let this happen. Oh man, that still hurts. Yeah, you should have heard me yell. I'm sure my neighbors didn't much appreciate me yelling the way I did when that happened live in the recording. But yeah, we lost Ziggy, our first fallen warrior. Now, ideally, I wouldn't lose any more Pokemon from here on out, but at the same time, I'm expecting there will be at least some. And as long as I won't spoil any more because they'll happen live, as long as I don't have any more audio issues like this time. Yeah, replacing Ziggy is not going to be easy because she's able to learn so many of the good of the HMs. She can learn Cut, Strength, Surf when she evolves. I don't think she can learn Flash or Fly, but ideally I'll have a Flyer by the time I need that. But yeah, here we go. I was debating, whether doing the permanently boxing or full-on releasing, and this is what I decided. Farewell, Ziggy. You served me well in that short time I had you. You will be missed. Oh man, poor Ziggy. Outside of my starter, she was probably my favorite of the few that I've caught so far. So yeah, now I decided, because Reefer and Jellian are not amazing, I was going to level up Patrick, because Starmie's pretty good, you know, powerful. Once he's able to learn a few moves, Patrick will definitely be a solid water type for me to carry through the rest of the game. Because I believe, yeah, I didn't mention this when I was doing the recording live, but I kept the TMs in that the same. So Misty will, even though she might not have water type Pokemon, she'll still give Water Pulse. The only thing I did change was the move tutor moves. I changed those, and I don't know what those all are, because when I did the randomization, I also didn't save a file, you know, for the whatchamacallit, like it saved the text file of all the different randomizations and that, because I didn't want that unfair advantage of knowing what I was going to be facing going into it, because I wanted this to be tough. And well, when I've done Nuzlocke before, I don't usually lose anything until Misty. Like, you know, occasionally I'll, you know, not pay attention while grinding and lose something like that. But when I'm doing a trainer battle, usually it's not until I face Misty that I end up losing anything. Because when I've done randomized Nuzlocke in the past, I usually still just take Charmander, because I like to impose the rule on me that any fight, including the first one, if you lose it, that's it. And you can win with Bulbasaur if you use the potion, but yeah, it's a lot harder. But and then with Squirtle, you can also potentially win, but it's, you know, it's not as easy as with Charmander, who starts with the best move. Like he starts with Scratch instead of Tackle, and that has slightly higher power and accuracy in this generation. And he has better offensive stats to begin with. Yeah, no Sand Attack. Don't bother with that. I've never had much luck with those accuracy reducing moves, or like status moves and stuff like that. Confusion as well. When I was training Jellian between episodes, actually, I was using Poison Sting and Supersonic, and it was like just kind of like slowly withering down Pokemon, but most of the time they weren't affected by confusion. Like, I remember specifically there was a Fraligator I fought with Jellian that was able to, like, it was affected by it for 2 turns. It was able to still hit both times and then broke out of confusion. So I was like, alright, whatever. I gave up, I think that was the last Pokemon I fought with Jellian, so like after that I went straight up to I healed my Pokemon and went to the building, because I was annoyed at how I also there was Igglybuffs, like the first form of Jigglypuff, or is it, yeah, I think Jigglypuff is I confuse whether it's the first form of Jigglypuff or Clefairy. But with yeah, there was Igglybuffs that I was fighting that were really annoying with Jellian, where they would sing me to put me to sleep and then use Charm to harshly reduce my attack. So yeah, Jellian was getting beat up pretty bad by those Igglybuffs. No, it didn't die, and then it took like 20 turns, that battle, just because of having to wake up constantly, doing so little damage, and then just wearing it down over time with poison. And then it gave 11 experience, so I was like, wow, that was not very worth it. Yeah, the grinding between episodes, I didn't lose anyone then. I did come close though with funny enough, Ziggy, where she got poisoned when I was fighting a coughing up near the Route 2 area, and I had to throw down a potion on her to keep her alive because she got poisoned and almost died. So here we catch this. Well, we fight this Nebel. I did end up catching it. Like I said, I've got the boosted attack, so catching things is not as much of an issue. So I haven't done this yet as I'm recording this. Like I've been recording the episodes like one at a time because I've had the audio issues. So I haven't gone to record episode 3 yet. But I'm probably going to do a little bit of grinding with Patrick between episodes. Get him up to probably, I'd say, level 12 at least. Something like that. So because Sanji is now so high that I want to keep him from getting too much higher. So I'll try to use Patrick throughout the Dark Cave. Yeah, I nicknamed my Snubble Zoe because that was the name of a dog we had growing up. So I don't know, where exactly I started my outro in this original recording, but this is getting to about where I signed off. So thank you so very much for watching, and please like the video and leave a comment if you enjoyed it. Share it if you know someone who would also enjoy it. Subscribe if you want to see more, and I hope you'll join me again next time. So, for now, farewell.